So cutting costs is not always a good idea. Even though we just talked about cutting costs, it's not always a good idea. Maybe in these tough times, in increasing costs efficiently and wisely, it could be the difference between you making it in a recession or not making it in a recession, or maybe growing your business multiple folds.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So when you look at, and I'm just going to say a generic business, right? There is some overhead to run the business.
Yes.
Then there is the costs are, a cost of growing the business, right? Such as marketing costs, advertising, etc. And then there is also the cost of providing the service, whether it's cost of goods sold or providing the service, etc. What is your, and then I'm sure I'm missing a bunch, but what is your perspective about like these areas? You should be very, very careful about cutting costs in these areas. Don't cut costs in these areas. And then what's like the other tier, like, okay, if you have to cut costs, start here. What is your perspective there?
Sure. I mean, in any business, you have variable cost and fixed cost. The fixed cost, they're no matter what, you have to pay them every month, like your rent, your utilities, all that stuff. I would cut cost on fixed cost. Rental, if you can negotiate with the landlord, and I know a lot of landlords are negotiating right now, cut cost on that, it's okay. Utilities, if you call your utility company, there's a lot of options for you out there. Certain subscriptions that you had to have in the past to make your life a lot easier. Those subscriptions, you might be able to live without them or spend an extra hour a week moving away from those subscriptions. You can cut costs on all those. What I wouldn't cut cost as, or I would be very careful not to cut cost on, is advertisement. Mm-hmm. But however, I will reorganize my advertisement and marketing campaign. If it was going to one certain type of a client, I will move that to make sure it's going somewhere else where it's more efficient. Because what worked 6 months ago, it might not work today, or the clientele that you're advertising for 6 months ago, there might not be, and you need to find that new market to evolve. Always be fluid, try to evolve into your journey and into the steps you're taking. So advertisement and marketing budget, I would, if I have to cut it, I would be very cautious and very careful about doing so. And the way I would do it. Payroll. A lot of people talking about cutting employees and layoffs and all that stuff. What I will do, instead of just using the word laying off or cutting employees, I would reorganize the organization from within to see who's the most efficient, give them more hours. So have them work more hours and have them work more. And the people who are less efficient, transfer them into a different position. If you need to let them go, you need to let them go. Obviously, there is no question about it. But reorganizing instead of just going based on salary. A lot of companies, what they do is they look at salaries, and I've seen that in many businesses. Yeah. And they say, oh, this is a high salary, we gotta get rid of, and we're keeping the low salary. Well, guess what? You might be making the biggest mistake ever, because just cutting salaries without really a vision of who's bringing the value is wrong. So your payroll might go up, but you're working more efficient, you're producing more. So that's one of the things that a lot of people bring to the table.